Hi traders, thanks for stopping by thetradinganalyst.com. This is Taylor and we're going to take a look at a bunch of charts here. But first, if you're not already a member, go ahead and visit the home page of the website and start your 100% free 7-day trial today. All you need to do is enter in your name and your email address and you're going to get instant access to all of the member benefits like the live chat room, daily member videos, watch lists, webinars, and education from a mentor such as myself who truly cares about your success in the market. You're also going to be able to take part in the profitable trade alerts, which not only make you money in the market, but they also give you the opportunity to learn while you earn, because we're not just handing you out these alerts, we're giving you a detailed explanation and preparing you ahead of time for all of the alerts so that you can learn how to become a better trader on your own. It's a great opportunity and we'd love to have you. All right, so let's look at these charts here. I'm going to start with Twitter. We are coming up to this level of resistance a few times, 1640. I'm not adjusting these lines. These have been here for weeks, and the reason I drew that is because of the low of this candle, and the body of that candle right there. So that's right around 1640. As you can see, we had trouble with it here, and then today we tried to break over it but couldn't quite do it. So to me, with these combination of these three candles right here, looks to me like Twitter is going to see some downside here in the near term. We still have some major support down here. Last video I did on Twitter, I mentioned that we would most likely be getting a bounce right around this 1530 area. Okay, that was after this day. That's exactly what happened, and that's based off of this reversal candle, and then off of this support here and that gap fill. So we filled the gap, came up, bounced, but here we are, we're coming up to this resistance, the high of this candle, the high of this candle, and then this candle couldn't close over right here, and we've got two weak candles. We've got two gap ups in a row, showing a little bit of exhaustion here, and these candles are not strong looking candles. So I think that Twitter needs to consolidate a little bit before it makes its next move. Still has that big support down here at about 1530, so keep that level in mind. It's from the high of this candle and all these candles right here, and then this candle right here. So keep in mind 1530 or so, that's going to be the make or break level. If we close below about 1525 or so, then we're going to come down here and most likely fill this gap down here at about 14. But most likely we get another bounce around this level. So we'll see what happens, but definitely near term, I am thinking that we are going to see some consolidation lower. Eventually, if we end up breaking to the upside, the next resistance is right around $17, and that's from the lows of these few candles right here. And then up here we have this gap fill right around 1775, and that's going to be some pretty big resistance from these candles up here as well. Next, I want to cover GoPro. So GoPro, another one, I did not move this line or adjust it to match up with today's high. I promise you. Today's high is 1147, and this resistance I had here is 1148. Why is that resistance? Well, it's from the low of this candle. The close of this candle broke through it right there. The high of this candle right there. The lows of these few candles right here. The close of this candle, the open of this candle, the low of this candle, the open of this candle, and as you can see, this is the only candle that violated that level right there. But other than that, this is a very clean level, and we've got the upper Bollinger Band up there that provided some resistance as well. So no surprise that we're seeing a rejection up here, and we've got this gap to fill down here. Most likely that fills, so we've got main support and resistance levels are up here at 1150 and 970. So 970, this is pretty decent support from the lows of these few candles right there, and then from these few candles right there. And then we've got that main resistance at 1150 from these candles right there. If we break over 1150, the next resistance is going to be right around 1275 or so, from the lows of these few candles, the close of this candle, and then the lows of these few candles right there. And as you can see, we broke through it on this candle right there. Next, I want to be covering Apple here. So Apple, we are looking at, again, last video I did, we broke through this support over here. Apple should have been heading lower, and that's exactly what we got, because we got 1, 2, 3 candles closing below that support right here. Finally, again, we got another dip lower. Again, here we got a dip lower, and we closed just below this support right here at about 95.25. So just below it, and that support was from the highs of these couple candles here and these couple candles right here. So next support for Apple is right around 92.65 or so, 92.65. Looks like it wants to fill this gap down here before it wants to fill this gap. So we'll see what happens, but definitely looking like, more like Apple is going to be coming down here to fill this gap. Again, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. We're still quite a bit ways. Anything can happen, but as it stands, we are continuing to make lower lows and lower highs on Apple, and that's the definition of a downtrend. Next, I want to look at Tesla. So Tesla, main resistance I'm seeing is right around the downtrend line, right around 226, something like that, between 225 and 230 is going to be where that resistance is on Tesla. We've got some pretty decent support right around 215. So a break of 215, and we're going to come down here and tag 204 based off of this support down here from these few candles right here, and then there's a gap that may want to fill down there as well. So a break of 215, and we're going to get this gap fill down here right around 204. Next, I'm going to look at Netflix. So Netflix, we've got a really nice level to play with here. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 candles where 93.25 or so is the low. So a lot of touches right here. If that level breaks, 93.20 or so, if that level breaks, we're going to head much lower on Netflix. We're seeing a lot of touches of this level, so it's building up energy. If it ends up finally breaking, then that's going to be a pretty decent move to the downside. And we've got the main support down here right around 87.20 or so on Netflix, if that ends up breaking right there. Next, I want to cover Google. So Google, couple of things right here. We did cover, last video we did on Google, we mentioned this hammer right here, and it did close below that trend line, which is why we said it was going to head lower, and that's exactly what we got. So a lot of people were looking for a bounce here on Google because of this hammer, but we know to look for downside because of the close below that trend line and also a close below this support line right here. So I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to show you the significance of this trend line. So we've got touches here, a few touches here, and then we've got a touch here and right here. So definitely a pretty significant trend line right here for Google, and we've also got this downtrend line. So now we've got resistance. The main resistance is just below 730, okay? Because we've got two gaps that are unfilled. We have this gap right here, about 724.40 from the close of this hammer right there. Yep, 724.25 is where that gap is, right there. And then there's a gap up here that's really small, but it may want to fill, 732. If we end up breaking back up to this level, I believe that'll be a really good opportunity to reshort. So just be aware of that resistance from the bottom of these candles right here, as well as this downtrend line right here. We've got touches here, here, and a bunch of touches right here. So another touch of that should get a nice rejection. Next, I want to cover GILD. GILD, not my favorite chart to play with right at the moment, because the levels are not super clear, but we do have support at 82. And then as you can see from the last week or so of trading, about 5-6 days, we've got 84, which is resistance. The low of this candle, the open of this candle, the high of this candle breached that level but closed below it. The open of this candle, the high of this candle missed it by a little bit. The high of this candle breached it by a little bit. The high of today breached it by a couple of cents. But as you can see, right around that 84 is going to be that resistance. There's a gap up here that may want to fill, but again, I think it's going to test a little bit lower before potentially heading higher. Definitely not a great looking chart, so we'll see what it does. I want to give it some more time. I want to see what kind of candlestick formations we get, and I want to see how the biotech sector and the market behave as well. So that's what I'm doing on Gilead Sciences, and I hope you guys found this video helpful. That's going to conclude the video and the charts. Again, if you're not already a member, go ahead and start your 100% free 7-day trial. All you need to do is enter in your name and your email address, and you're going to get immediate access to all of the benefits that we spoke about earlier. It's a great opportunity, and we'd love to have you.